We spent much of the last video talking about the importance of color in accessibility, but you should familiarize yourself with more tools than just color when creating Power BI reports. In the case of this wet floor sign, there are many design features at play with accessibility in mind. First, you have a warning message displayed in English and Spanish. But what about travelers who might speak a third language? The additional visual of a person slipping conveys a more universal visual language beyond what is written on the sign. Finally, its bold yellow color and placement in the middle of the walking lane further help ensure that people from anywhere will see it and contextually understand that they should watch their step. Our world is full of subtle and not so subtle methods of conveying a piece of important information to as many people as possible in different ways. And we will conclude this lesson by discussing some ways that Power BI can help you create the most accessible business intelligence reports possible. Some of these accessibility options we've already discussed. For example, we've already talked about the importance of creating descriptive titles and adding data labels to charts so that users never have to guess what they're viewing. We've also discussed the importance of how color and contrast are used in your report. Finally, consistency is simply the exercise of presenting similar things in consistent ways across your report. Our discussion of design principles identified several ways that you can do this, including by grouping similar items together and aligning them. Most charts can be sorted. Sorting is important for visuals because it makes the data points in a visual easier to compare, especially in bar charts. This is important for helping users focus on the insights that matter rather than wasting time figuring out which part of a visualization is important. Almost all charts can be sorted in different ways by clicking on the three dots in the top right corner of the visualization. Another step you can take to make line charts more accessible is to add markers. Line charts can be a difficult visual for color-sensitive viewers to interpret because color is often the only feature distinguishing lines from each other. Adding markers provides a second option that all viewers can read. And the best part is that they're highly customizable, meaning you can add markers to only the most important line if needed. Later in the demo for this section, I'll demonstrate how to add markers to a line chart. Another accessibility feature that is common to almost all Power BI visuals is the ability to show the underlying data. Right-clicking on most charts will allow viewers to see the underlying data as a table. Clicking that option instantly generates a data table that users can read alongside the original visual. Focus mode is an accessibility feature that can be activated using the following icon on any data visual. Enabling focus mode simply enlarges the selected visual so that it's easier to read and takes up the whole screen. This also makes it especially useful in presentations where Power BI reports might be projected on screens, making smaller visuals very difficult to read from across the room. And finally, Power BI also offers the ability to add alternative text to most visuals that can be narrated by a screen reader as a user navigates your report. Screen readers can read aloud the title of the report, the type of data visualization, and any notes that you leave in the alt text settings. Power BI reports that are consumed online in the Power BI service also have the option for users to activate a variety of pre-programmed high contrast modes to assist colorblind users should the need arise. Both of these features are seldom used in most applications, but they may be important for you or your users. So even though they're somewhat beyond the scope of this course, they are worth knowing about. Accessibility is important because not all people consume information the same way. And your role as a business intelligence developer or analyst is to help bridge those differences. If you're building Power BI reports for a very wide audience, reach out to your users and collect feedback about their experience. You may discover that accessibility issues you believed didn't exist for your specific user group actually do exist. Thank you for considering these important topics, and I'll see you in the next demo.